Welcome back to the Loveland Report and Loan Arranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland, Central Florida's best real estate planner, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Loan Arranger. I'm going to dive into some listings right now. I've got some. We talked about time on the market. We're going to after this. I want to talk about market position. These are all priced where they should be. These are the best priced. Like here's a 4.3 for $499.9 in Mount Dora, 2,700 square feet, bigger than everything else around it. 3rd acre lot. Running, so larger lot than everybody else. You can do a short little walk downtown Mount Dora, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, all remodeled, massive fenced yard for $499.9. I've got the Palisades, and nice thing about the Palisades in Clermont,
community,
1/4 acre, $575,000. Best price around for 5 bedroom, 3 bath.
That's not 55 and up, is it?
Nope. 5 bedroom, 3 bath with a pool, 2,700 square feet, fresh paint in that one. Double master suites.
How much is that one there?
$575. Double master suites. Nice thing about this, you go into a builder, you're going to be in this area, you'll have a smaller lot, won't have all the features, probably be a 2-story to have 2,700 square feet. I've got the best price home in Rosemont right here by the radio station. $319, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1 car garage with a swimming pool, 1,700 square feet on this one. And big open private area, big open kitchen, open to the family room. And then we've got a large Florida room on the back of the house that views a backyard. Looks like it was manicured by Disney. I've got a foreclosure property in Hunters Creek for $459,000, 2,000 square feet with a pool, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 2 car garage. And these houses fixed up with a pool are selling for $499. So this one is at $459 on this one.
Beautiful.
So we're $40,000 less than what most of them are selling for. It is priced accordingly. Really just needs cosmetics, a paint job.
Some people don't want a pool.
Yeah. So, but this is a great price for a pool home here. I've got a starter home too.
So that one's
got a pool,
and it's still $40,000 under
less than everything else. Yep.
Oh.
And then I've got a starter home here, 900 square feet, 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 1 car garage, and a 1 car carport. Almost a half acre lot, like 0.49 acres. And this is no HOA in Orange City. Great house, all tile throughout. All the renovations are done. You can move right in. Florida room, steel roof on the property. And then I've got one in Ocoee. This one will go probably this weekend, Bruce. $748,000, 5 bedroom, 3 baths with a pool. The largest lot in this gated neighborhood. Nice pool, very private. The way the house is turned on the bend. Pie-shaped lot, enormous, 2,800 square feet. It actually could be 6 bedrooms. There's a bonus room. The master has a study off of it. Beautiful property, $70,000 kitchen. Move right into that and take over and just unpack. And then I've got $399 for a townhouse in Sanford. This is gated community, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. It is an end unit, so you get a lot more light flowing into that. You've got 4 bedrooms, oversized hallways, and just feels very open for a townhouse. 1,800 square feet, lots of upgrades, beautiful countertops, tile throughout that house. Call me if you want to take a look at any of these at 407-352-8118.
Yep. You want to get pre-approved to buy one of them. If you need a mortgage, if you're not paying cash, you're going to need a mortgage. You might as well go right to the best. I've been in the mortgage business for 35 years. And I am one of the top producing lenders in the entire nation, and I'm right here in your backyard. I don't tell you that to brag about my production. I tell you that because a lot of people use me, and they use me because I take great care of them. We did not become this successful in the largest mortgage company in the entire country by not taking great care of our customers. You've got me. I'm right here in your backyard, and I'd be honored to help you, your friends, or your family members. I want to talk a little bit about Hometown Heroes. Came out on Monday, the 18th.
Yep.
And basically it's for first-time home buyers. Unless you're a veteran, you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. Do you know what a first-time home buyer means to Hometown Heroes?
Haven't owned a home in 3 years?
It's haven't owned a home in 3 years as a primary residence.
You still have a rental and get one?
So if you have
That's
rental
funny.
that you have not occupied for 3
Okay.
years, you still qualify. If you owned a primary and you separated or divorced from your spouse, but you're still on that mortgage, you'd never qualify for any other down payment assistance, but you can with Hometown Heroes. You can also have non-occupying co-signers. Let's say you have an income of you have a limit on Hometown Heroes of $144,000. Well, let's just say that you make 100 and your spouse makes 100. Well, that's 200. You wouldn't qualify. Well, if I put only one of you on that's a first-time home buyer and that qualifies you based on that income, that's all I need. I don't have to use the other borrower to help you qualify if they exceed the income limits. You can get up to $35,000 toward your down payment and closing costs. I had a client that I got in for $1,250 on a $450,000 house. That was all they came up with. $1,250 on a $450,000 home. Isn't that now?
That's good.
We negotiated closing costs. We got the down payment assistance from Hometown Heroes, but it all came together and it worked out absolutely perfect. I don't think you could go rent an apartment for $1,250 for first month in security.
Yep.
I don't think you can do that. So Hometown Heroes is a great program. If you know somebody that has not purchased, they're renting right now, what a wonderful time to help them get into a home. Hometown Heroes, the lender cannot charge any origination fees. The state of Florida determines the interest rate. It's not subjective. It is what they have, and that's it. So minimum closing costs, and Hometown Heroes will pick them up for you. You know, your minimum that you're going to get from Hometown Heroes is 10 grand. Minimum. That's the maximum you get on Florida Bond. So the minimum 10 grand. First time home buyers, if you don't take advantage of this, it will not last. There's only $50 billion available. And we've got
that's probably going to go about 3-4
20,000 people coming in and closing on mortgages every month in the state of Florida.
Yep.
20,000.
So that only lasts a couple of weeks, right?
Well, no, because it's limited to first responders.
Oh, that'll go long. You're right.
Now, okay. And teachers and law enforcement. I'm going to say that it'll probably last till November. I'm going to say that would be if things go at the pace they're going, because the average person that's getting this down payment assistance is getting somewhere between 18 and 25 grand. That's about the average. If you're interested, you call the Loan Arranger right now at 407-250-9144 or bringyouhome.com. I'll get you started. All right. Cleve Loveland's got it, has listings. What else? You got any crazy emails that you?
Well, I want to talk about time on the market. And right now, the average time on the market, there's another big change over this all is nationwide. This is happening. Used to be our average time on the market in Central Florida was about 50 days 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Now it's up to 110.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So that's over 3 months. And what this is, people going on and saying, I'm only selling if I get this price. And then their realtors, real estate's their side hustle. They're not getting any advice and they sit overpriced for 60, 90 days until they change listing agents or they finally say, all right, we got to do something and adjust market position. Now I review market position with my sellers and market absorption every couple of weeks, and we react to it. And that's the important part. So I average about 3 to 6 weeks to get a contract.
So you're not passive.
I'm not. Yeah. You got to be proactive on something like that. And that's where I see a lot of people I talk about being, are you on the market, but are you in the market? You can be on the market trying to get $8.99, but if your neighbors are selling for $7.50, you're not in the market.
So longer time on the market makes it a little bit more challenging for a seller.
Well, right? The main thing, what's funny is I'll have agents call me and say, hey, I see you've been on the market for a long time. You've been on for 60 days and you haven't sold. And I'll say, well, if you notice, last Tuesday, we just adjusted the price by $15,000. And so that's why we're not taking your offer that's $50,000 below list price. So here's the comps we used. Here's what we show. We're the best price 4-3 around with a pool. And I've got to explain that to them. But it doesn't show desperation when you adjust your market position. It shows you're responding to the market, because
absolutely
your market value, first day in real estate. My mom taught me this.
Without that much time on the market, regardless, I believe that gives the buyer a bit of an advantage.
A little bit. You shouldn't. That's why you've got to have somebody that knows what they're doing to negotiate for you. That's the main thing I do. Is that a good offer? Was it a good offer to give the buyer 3% in closing costs? And the big problem I see with closing costs, Bruce, is the buyer doesn't understand. Okay, they made an offer. Let's say it's a house for $450. They made a $450 offer, but they asked for 6%.
Right.
That's $425 or $422 to the seller.
Net.
They got to understand that. Now, if this house is priced well, just hit the market, or they just adjusted the price some, and they're the best price home around, that's where the buyer's got to understand, hey, you can, I got to explain this. I got to make sure the agent understands this and they explain it to their buyer. I'll usually I'll send back a bullet point reply. Hey, please show this to your buyer. Where the seller wants 440. If you need that much in cost, we're going to be above list price, which should be fine. And they're like, what are you talking about? I don't understand. So I got to explain it with kid gloves, because a lot of these agents just have zero experience. I just had one the other day, and she was actually a delight to deal with. But she goes, yeah, I only sell about one home a year. but she actually wrote me a good offer. Very intelligent lady.
Insane.
And we were the best price around at 915, and we closed at full price with 2% in costs. Well, we're going to close. That's the contract we accepted. That's very reasonable for what's going on around that.
That's very
seller.
reasonable.
So, and that's the buyer came in obviously lower than that. And I said, well, hey, look, this is our number. Don't you agree we're the best price around? I got her agreeing, and she explained it to the buyer. The buyer loved the home, didn't see anything else like it. Everybody else was 40,000 higher in price. And she's like, great, you're a great buy. I love it. So we're done.
It just shows you guys that Cleve Loveland does what needs to be done. He's out there truly managing and making sure that the buyer and seller are able to come to the table with an equitable agreement. Because you're looking out for your client, but you want to make sure that, I mean, if the client's got the house on the market, they need to sell the house. Now you're just evaluating whether the offers are the right price or not. And so getting that type of advice, in my opinion, is absolutely, it's invaluable. You've got to hire a real estate agent. And when I see these real estate agents that truly don't negotiate very well, I think that the buyer and the seller are at a disadvantage, and they don't even always know it. So call Cleve. He can be reached at 407-352-8118, the voice of real estate here in Florida, or the Lone Ranger. Bruce Woodburn has every type of mortgage you could possibly need and the best possible rates and terms in the industry. 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. All right. So we got your listings. We've talked about hometown heroes. We've talked about investing in the real estate. We talked about time on the market. What do you think about the next Fed cut?
Well, I was going to ask you that, because usually if they do cut, that's not good for mortgage rates right in the immediate.
So typically it's not going to be good for it. I think that the market is waiting for it, and the prices have already been adjusted. Do not think that the day that the Fed cuts the Fed rate, that the rates are going to drop. They're already dropped. They've dropped because the market leads into it.
Oh yeah,
They're not reactionary.
They lead by 68.
Wall Street's not stupid.
No, they know what's going on.
As a matter of fact, if for some reason that the Fed cut a half a point instead of a quarter point, then you may see an improvement in the market following the Fed meeting.
Improvement in rates?
Improvement
in 30-year mortgage rates.
You could see an improvement.
Yeah.
Now, if that rallies the stock market, it could tank the bond market, and that could make mortgages worse.
But it could help both. I mean, there's a relationship.
It could very well help both.
But
I'm anticipating that over the next 6 to 9 months, we'll start to see interest rates improve a little bit more and more as time goes on. But you don't want to wait it out. We're going to refinance. I don't charge any lender fees for my clients when it refinances. I'm the only mortgage guy in the market that's telling my refi clients to hold off a little bit longer if you're trying to reduce your rate or eliminate.
Now, right now the odds are we're on our Fed watch
86%.
Yeah, 84.8%, but for a half point cut.
Yeah.
Only a 50. So they think it's a half point, not a quarter point.
Yeah.
So I just keep hoping he'll fall and break a hip and have to retire early.
Well, I think that something's going to happen to him. I don't know about his hip, but I think that he's going to get the boot, if nothing else.
$2.5 billion on a renovation.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't care as much about the renovation as I do about the whole economy, because everyone's after him, including other members on the board. Hey, we've only got about 30 seconds here. So Cleve, why don't you give out your phone number?
407-352-8118. Any of those rooftops on your street, I've probably sold one, helped somebody rent one or buy one.
Yep.
Call me 407-352-8118.
Yeah. Or the Lone Ranger at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report and the Lone Ranger Show. We've got more to talk about. I want to talk about self-employed people, on how you can get a mortgage without your tax returns.
Ask you about new construction also.
And we're going to talk about new construction. We got a builder we want to preview, including Trinity Family Builders. So we'll be back in 5. Don't go anywhere.